Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for tuning in this afternoon. Big shout out to our title sponsors, Manscaped. You can still get 20% off of all of their male grooming products right now by using their promo code TFT. The link for that is in our description below. Make sure you sign up to our Discord server as well. The best football community on God's green earth. The invite link is below in our description. It's also where we share the link for you to phone into our daily shows. We're here to mainly focus on Chelsea this afternoon. Big news being revealed. It's going to start dropping in the next 24 hours or so across social media. But Thomas Tuchel's summer transfer plans are being revealed. Some of his main targets are being spoken about. And there could be some spent upwards of £190 million this summer. Of course, a fair chunk of that will be recouped by the sale of a number of players in this squad as well, especially if some of these targets are landed. The main three targets, according to the reports, of course, are Erling Haaland. Roman Abramovich is absolutely desperate for this young man to go to Stamford Bridge. He is willing to pay whatever it takes to take him away from Borussia Dortmund. A lot of people are talking about 120 million plus. That's a kind of a mooted point, really, because he has a 70-odd million pound buyout clause in the summer of 2022, meaning it will cost more than 70 million pounds this summer to buy him, but upwards of 120 million pound would be extortionate, and clubs are less likely to do that. A fee of around 100 million pounds is what most experts believe Haaland can be purchased for. The two other signings, one is a centre-back, very much touted, currently at Sevilla, in Jules Koundé, who's been absolutely brilliant in the Liga. Very, very good in Europe, of course, this season as well. A very good up-and-coming young centre-back. Linked with the move to Manchester United. Chelsea back in November were linked with a move with him. They were scouting him. They were looking at him. Reports suggest that Thomas Tuchel is given the green light for, and his sort of endorsement of the signing. He would like him at Chelsea. And a deal for around £60 million is being discussed to bring the young man to Stamford Bridge. And aside from that, more creativity is what's needed. Of course, a lot of chances are being created right now, not always scored and put away by this Chelsea team. But a £30 million cut price move for Philippe Coutinho has also been discussed. Another player to add to the ranks in the creative midfield area is something that's been discussed and is starting to circulate across social media. You'll see more of that in the next 24 hours or so. But a £30 million deal for that man. Of course, part of the treble winning Bayern Munich team of last season, he wants to move away from Barcelona. Barcelona are in financial trouble and really need to sell. So getting their top quality players at a cheap price is doable. And of course, Philippe Coutinho is very much a tried and tested Premier League player. He has done it here before. 190 million on these players. What is also really stand out is the deals that Chelsea are trying to structure will see an outlay of year one being between 40 to 50 million pounds. So Chelsea are not going to have to give 190 million pound of cash away this summer. There'll only be an outlay of 40 to 50 million pounds. As we know, the vast majority of this spending will be spread over a period of time via amortization to reduce the initial outgoing. So I know a lot of people say too much was spent last year for Chelsea to spend another 190 million pounds. But there are two factors to weigh into this. One, it's highly likely a star or two will be leaving. Around £100 million could be raised through the sale of some of the current squad members at Chelsea. At the same time, you are never going to pay £190 million out in one summer in cash. Not even the billionaires are going to do this. They're sensible. They understand how to structure these deals and the payments. It will be between 40 to 50 million pound year one expense on the fees alone. But these are the three names that you're going to see more and more of in the coming weeks in relation to Chelsea. Erling Haaland's already there, is in one of the big names. But Jules Koundé and Philippe Coutinho linked with big summer moves to Chelsea. My question to you is this. If Marina, if Roman, if Thomas Tuchel can pull off these deals and add them to this squad, where does that sit? Where does that put Chelsea Football Club in terms of title race, title challenge? We're running two polls right now. One on Twitter that's already out. Currently, 50% of the votes say that Chelsea will challenge with that team. 33% of the votes say Chelsea will win the league. So over 80% of the vote believe that Chelsea will be there or thereabouts in terms of a title race or winning it next year. The same poll is out on YouTube. 58% say Chelsea will be in the title race next year, title challenge next year, not race, challenge. 24% saying Chelsea will win the league. So there is almost universal agreement in the football fraternity here at the Football Terrace that if these signings come in with Thomas Tuchel's system, that it will be a big, big positive move for Chelsea. But I want your views. I want your opinions. Terry, where do you get your caps from? They're very saucy. They're actually my friend's company. So if you're interested, I'll link you into his company. You can get them bought for. I tend to not wear, if I can help it, I wear clothing brands that my friends or people I know own, as opposed to a kind of conglomerate. I'd much rather support a local business or a friend's business. It's the way forward. Let's go to some of your comments here. Jim says, pray for our rivals. Listen, I agree. I absolutely agree. If Chelsea pull off, it doesn't even matter if it's these three. Let's just put these three aside. If Chelsea pull off a top centre-back signing, another creative midfield player, and an absolute killer up front, the only team who won't be scared of that is going to be Manchester City. But it almost guarantees a top 2 finish as far as I'm concerned for Chelsea next season. We're going to share the link very soon on the Discord server in the Chelsea chat room over there for you to come on and have your say. So make sure you sign up to the Discord server. You get all notifications when we go live. The big Terrace announcement is coming soon, and the volume of new content that we're going to be making for you is amazing. I had quite a bit of feedback recently that we've kind of pulled back. We're not making the same level of content or volume of content as before. And that's because it's the calm before the storm. You'll see what's coming down the line very, very soon indeed. Make sure you're smashing that like and share button. Jack here says, Terry, did you sing the Chelsea song? I haven't yet. I had a look at the words today. I'm going to learn the words and do it properly. I will do my forfeit. I don't know what I forfeited for, but someone paid for me to do it. I will honor what the super chat says. I'll definitely get that done. No problem whatsoever. Alex here says, big up, Terry. Support your local. You've got to support local businesses, and you've got to support. I always felt this with friends, right? Drake will drop a new fragrance. Maybe he doesn't have a fragrance. I don't know, but Drake will drop a fragrance. Beyonce will drop a new clothing range or whatever, and everybody's sharing it, retweeting it. Oh my god! And then someone's best friend starts her own clothing brand, and I'm on like Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and I'm like, no one's sharing their own friend's stuff. If you were to put as much energy into your friends and family's businesses as you do celebrities that don't care about you, everybody would be eating better. We always moan about conglomerates, right? That's because we're addicted to the conglomerates. If you just support your friends' businesses, everyone's happy. Do you know what? I've got lots of friends that have YouTube channels. If I can't watch the content, I still click on the video and hit the like button. I still like on the Facebook page. I still share stuff. That's how you help people. We need to be less. We need to stop helping celebrities a lot less and help ourselves out a hell of a lot more. We, the people, have the strength. There we go. Away from the politics now. There we go. Man like Daniel says, Chelsea are here to dominate. You are here to dominate. There's no doubt about it. Dylan here says, big up, Terry. He says, this is an interesting one. Where's it gone? Hang on a minute. It's gone. Oh, here it is. It says, Koundé is overrated in my opinion. Sorry for spelling. I'm dyslexic. I think you spelled it all right, bro. I think everything you said in there is absolutely correctly spelled. But that is being checked by a fellow dyslexic. So it's the blind leading the blind when it comes to spelling. Man like David says, some of my friends' businesses you can't openly advertise. What do your friends do, bro? Hey, hey! There we go. Terry is a low-key Chelsea fan. I'm not. I run the Football Terrace. I have to be I can't deliver this news to you and then sit here and say it's crap when they're looking at signing 3 top-class talents, adding them to an array of wonderful talents already, being led by a brilliant manager with a club with an amazing structure, and not say it's a positive. I can't do that. I don't want to be one of them YouTubers who sits there and chats nonsense about his rivals just because my viewers will like it. Nah, bruv. I don't care if I lose viewers. I'm going to always give my honest opinion, whether you like it or not. But I know it's big love, bro. I know it's big love. I don't take it personally. Hashtag Alpha still. That's going to be my clothing range, I think, when I become a massive celebrity. and everybody's stawning over me. That's going to be my clothing range. It could be called Alpha. It's a joke, by the way. Some people, oh, Terry thinks he's going to be famous. I have no interest in that, to be fair. Anyway, we digress somewhat. We digress. Let's push forward. Look at this comment. Haaland alone is going to win us the Prem. Maybe. Make sure you get voting on the polls on our Twitter page, on our community page, on the Football Terrace. Make sure you get that done. What's this comment here say? Declan says, hi, Terry. I heard a lot of talk that Tuchel won't be backed. This is Abramovich, guys. I think he can win the league. Big up the whole terrace. He'll be backed. Financial fair play looks like it's being scrapped or very much relaxed. It's scary, bro. Like, I look at it and do you know why I smile about it? There's no point being stressed about the inevitable. Do you know what I mean? It's Chelsea almost have a compulsory purchase order to be able to buy buy their way to the league again. And that isn't an insult. All the top team buy, as great as Bayern Munich is structured, and as great as their team is, and as great as their managers have been, they still buy their way to it. They still outspend and outmaneuver every team in Germany. Like Man United under Fergie, we still outspent everybody and had bigger wage bills, and that's why we extended our stadium, so we had more financial clout. It's the way it works. Do you know what I mean? Find me a team that rules consistently in football that isn't one of, if not the wealthiest. They don't exist, bruv. They don't exist. They just don't. Man like Grey Wolf Dinner in the house says, Terry, respect the biggest club in London, not clubs like Spuds or Arsenal who regularly embarrass England in Europe. There we go. Let's get some callers on. We've got a gal backstage. We've got Gemini backstage. I'm calling him Gemini now. The Essex boy Gemini in the house. Man is here. Hashtag Pineapple Top is in the house with us. I ain't joking, Gem. I ain't joking. He put his hood up. He's putting his hood up. No, he's not. I love Gem. Igao is here as well. I don't know. We're going to share the link on the Discord server in a few moments. Let's get some of our callers on. Let's do this, people. Gem. I'm going to come to you straight away. 190 mil. Haaland, Jules, and Coutinho. Tuchel. Can that win you the league?
I'm smiling again. I'm smiling. No, I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I mean, 2 out of 3 of them signings I'm happy about. Haaland. Before I even get into that, actually, I saw something on Twitter how Dortmund are reluctant to work with Chelsea because of Tuchel, because of the disruption that he done it last time with the ball there. So I don't know how true that is. But anyway, Haaland is someone that I want massively. I think anyone would want. So yeah, definitely. He's definitely someone we need. Koundé is actually a player that I rate quite highly. I actually think he's better than Upamecano. And if we are looking at him, and he is, how much was it? 60 million, you said, wasn't it? 60 mil?
Around 60 mil.
And he's only 60 mil and he's young. I would go for him. I wouldn't even think about that one. I think he's a very, very, very good defender. Coutinho. Cheers, Twisted. Coutinho, on the other hand, no. I don't want that player nowhere near my team. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, let's be serious, he's not the same. He hasn't been the same player since he left Liverpool. Yes, he went to Barcelona and he went to Bayern Munich and won trophies there. But he's just, for me, in terms of the style of Coutinho, I don't think that's the kind of player we need. The player that I would go for is Neto. I think we need another winger. I think Neto, because of his directness, because he can dribble, because he'll make opportunities. I think, and he's younger. He's got more for me. He's just a better all-round player for me than what Coutinho is. I know Coutinho is proven, but I just think with Coutinho, I don't even know how much he is, but I don't think he solves much for us. I think it'd just be a bench warmer.
That's an interesting one. From your point of view, Igal, what do you make of these big Chelsea rumours?
Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. The whole thing. First of all, Haaland, he has the pick of the litter. He's being linked to every single club. It makes sense that Chelsea are one of the clubs that are after him and Roman wants him. But I don't think Haaland's going to go to Chelsea. Out of all the clubs that he could go to, he's probably going to end up going to Man City or a club that's actually currently fighting to win the league and win the Champions League. I know Chelsea's in the race for the Champions League, but right now I would say Haaland would go to them, right? Koundé. I don't think Koundé is that good of a defender overall. He's good playing out the back. He's good in the Spanish league, but when it comes down to it, the physicality of the Premier League might be difficult for him to adjust immediately coming over from La Liga over to the Premier League. So Koundé, he's also been linked to Arsenal. He's been linked to so many different clubs. So I don't really believe that signing either.
So it did.
And then third, we're talking about Coutinho. Coutinho has been pimped out to every single club in world football. Barcelona have literally tried to sell him to every single club. They have a situation at Barcelona where if they play him 10 more games, they have to pay another 40 million to Liverpool, and they don't want to do that. So that's why they're trying to sell him to every single club. This is not me being salty. I don't want him at my club. You guys probably don't want him at your club. Yes, he's still a quality player, but Coutinho right now, Barcelona are trying to pawn him off to somebody else so they don't have to pay Liverpool an extra 40 million. So to me, the whole thing screams international break, rubbish.
Why are you so salty about us all the time?
Why
are you such
I gave you explanation.
Jem, let me ask you this question here on this. So when someone like Igal essentially says Haaland won't pick Chelsea because they're not in the title race, do you think that makes any sense when you consider Chelsea's pedigree and the direction you're now moving in under Tuchel?
In the past, Chelsea, when they've spent money, have won things. It's just the way we work. Yes, we've gone through seasons where we've disappeared and it hasn't worked. Yeah, and we've got rid of players and we brought some in. But my point is this, Agal. When Chelsea go and spend, they traditionally usually go and win things. That's what they do. That's how the club works. We're not an Arsenal and we're not a Spurs. Yeah, when we get linked to these type of players, it means business. It means we are serious and we're coming for him. If it was linked to, I see Ireland linked to Arsenal. No offense, I laughed at that because apparently Odegaard's gonna get him over or something. Yeah, but that made me laugh. But traditionally, you go, if we are coming for them type of players, then for me it means we mean business. And yes, we are one of the only teams in the league, barring Man City, that could afford him anyway. Liverpool can't afford him. Man United won't spend that kind of money.
We
KJ
can afford it though. We can afford it. Let's not get twisted.
You won't spend the money. That's just different.
AJ, what are you doing? Why are you so close to your phone?
Why are you so close?
All right, listen. I only came here to say one thing, and everyone enjoy my nose. Listen, any Chelsea fan that is too weak, spineless, cowardly to say that you're back. Boy, you need to question yourself, fam. You man are back, bruv. Look what Roman's trying to do.
You're too close.
All right, look what Roman's trying to do, fam.
Alex, get away from the camera, Alex.
All right, listen. I'm doing my best Alex impression, bruv. Listen, Chelsea are back. Accept it, Jem. You guys are gonna go do a madness in the summer. FFP is gone. Sugar Daddy Roman gonna do his thing, and then also you man are gonna go and win the Champions League. You know it, Jem. You know you want to say it.
No,
you know you want to say Chelsea win the Champions League. Right? Big up the reggae boys. I'm off to watch that game. All I want to say is Chelsea are back, and Jem, you're weak for not accepting it.
Get lost.
Listen, Jem, you shouldn't be happy that you're linked to these three players. You should be happy that the whole FFP thing, the whole FFP has been relaxed and you can actually spend more money. These three players that you're being linked to, I wouldn't take 2 of the 3. Honestly, only Haaland's the only one you should be like being excited about, getting crazy about. Koundé,
I disagree.
75 mil?
No. Could 60 mil. Do you know what I would say is this, right? There's 2 things here, Gal. One, Chelsea can sign Haaland. Chelsea are the biggest club in London. They're one of the biggest teams in the world, and they're a team moving in the right. Based on your logic, Gal, Chelsea are title contenders. Based on your own logic, Igal, they're title contenders. You came on here the other week and said if you look at Arsenal from our turnaround at Christmas until now, we're much better than 9th to 10th place. So the table lies. That logic means since Tuchel's been in charge, Chelsea are title contenders. So under Tuchel, it's a different world for Haaland to decide to go there. And I think that the advantage that Chelsea have is they have more money than any of the European teams that could afford in this summer. And Man City are still yet to prove to us that they're willing to go above 60 to 70 million pound for a player. So they have a massive opportunity there. On Philip Coutinho, this is just a point to both of you. I don't think people should sleep on him. And what I mean by that is this. Philip Coutinho did okay at Inter Milan when he played in Italy. He did okay at Barcelona. He did all right when he was at Bayern Munich. He is just so suited to English Premier League football. I think people sleep. You can pick him up for 30 mil. What he will give you is just class personified. He's still not even that old, I don't think, Philip Coutinho. I may be wrong about that. I haven't actually checked. Late 20s, I think he is. He's won things. He's experienced. Him leaving Liverpool, I don't know whether he'll regret it now after he's won trebles and things like that, but I still think he can come in and do a job for a Premier League team. And what my message to Chelsea fans would be is this. This move reportedly has been endorsed by Thomas Tuchel. And if Thomas Tuchel, who has already created this system that's almost got you on par with Man City in the league in the time that he's been here, the manager that might be able to attract Haaland, I would have faith in the players that he wants. Jules Koundé, we'll wait and see how good or bad the individual is. We're going to go to some more calls, though. Keep you boys on and have your say as ever. A few people have said that I haven't shared the link. It's in the Chelsea chat room on the Discord server. Neil here says, Haaland, yes, but we don't need a centre-back with 4 performing at a high level in the squad, plus 2 on loan. Unless Virgil van Dijk is on the market, a real upgrade in centre-back doesn't exist. I want to ask you a question on that, Jem, actually, before we go to the calls.
Yeah.
A lot of reports and a lot of suggestions from football experts say that Tuchel wants a better centre-back with a higher ceiling so that he can go away from playing 3 at the back. So he doesn't have to protect the centre-backs. It's almost a case of 3 at the backs being played to protect them, and he wants someone better. And Jules Koundé is one of the thing is, there are no Haalands that you can buy. It's about signing the next Koulibaly, the next Virgil van Dijk. I didn't mean Haaland. I meant Virgil van Dijk. Do you agree with this super chat?
No, I disagree. I think it's quite reactionary, to be honest. I think what you just said there, and I've said it since Tuchel's come in, since he's changed the style of our formation and playing the 3 at the back, we only really play that because I actually think it brings out the best of these players, but we actually protecting them as well. It's very clear and evident that these players can't switch in formations. If we went to a flat back 4, you would probably notice that Christensen, if you played Christensen and Rudiger or Christensen and Zuma, they would struggle. Don't ask me why, but it just doesn't work. In the 3, it suits them because they can distribute the ball better. Yeah, and they've got 2 pivots sitting in front of them, fullbacks that can cover the gap spaces to the sides of them as well. So for me, we are protecting our defenders at the moment. What we haven't got at the moment is a leader from the back, a leader. And Thiago Silva is not going to be around for long enough. And I think for us to go out and try and find the next VVD or a Koulibaly is the right thing to do. If it means getting rid of 1 or 2 of them defenders, I would do that. Because in the long run, I don't think they're the answer.
There needs to be a long-term plan.
Yeah.
Great points there. We're going to go to more of your calls. Make sure you're smashing that like button for us. Let's get past 500 likes while we're live on the air. Already well past the 200 mark. Over 1,000 people tuning in. It's the 5 p.m. show. It's the call-in show. First up, we're going to have Ayan on the line. Not had him on in a while. Great guy. Ayan, welcome back to the terrace, bro.
What's up?
Not bad, bro.
I see that Toronto sign. Okay.
Yeah, so I just think I need to first start off with Igal. Fam, you need to pipe down, man. Like, out of those 3 players, your club, you would be lucky to get any of them. Arsenal, I don't know when you're gonna wake up, man. Your squad is like 10 players away from having a good squad. Any 3 of them would improve. Bar Coutinho, Haaland and Koundé, any top 6 club would take them at their club. So I don't know what you're talking about. No one wants Koundé. You wouldn't take Koundé at Arsenal. I don't know what you're talking about, okay? Yes. Next, Coutinho, a club sitting in 10th place, and you wouldn't take Coutinho. Coutinho would revolutionize your squad. You would take Coutinho. Any squad outside the top 6 would take Coutinho. Okay. And I'm sure some squads in the top 6 wouldn't mind Coutinho either. So Arsenal would take Coutinho.
Okay, let me stop you right there. I said I said Arsenal have been linked to Coutinho and Koundé. First of all, Koundé is too small of a center back for me. I don't think he'll adjust to the Premier League that well. Playing out the back and passing ability is good, but he doesn't have the physicality and the stature that I feel like it would be difficult for him to adjust to play style in the Premier League, because it's a much faster and much physical league, right? Number
Bro,
two,
you got Sideshow
Coutinho.
Bob at the back. I'm sure you'll do better with
No.
Koundé.
Talk about him as much as you want, but he has been up and down the whole season, and he's had more good performances than bad. You obviously the bad performance stand out because he gets red cards or he gets sent off. Now, getting back to actual banter aside, if you look at Coutinho, yes, he's a decent player, and I would love to have him if it was a decent deal. But I don't think Barcelona are going to let him go without getting an adequate fee back. And I don't think we should invest that money in a Coutinho who's 28 years old when we have an Odegaard who we can get probably for 45.
But he's not going to join you.
That's debatable. We can talk about that another day. Right now, we're talking about this topic.
Anyway, so I'll go back to my Chelsea point now. So Chelsea, for me, I think, Jem, you need to accept it. Like, if you're not going to win the treble after spending $250 million last summer, and then you're going to spend $190 million this summer, like the fact that Chelsea fans are trying to downplay the amount of spending and not even try to. I heard like when KJ came on, you said you don't think you're going to challenge for the Champions League and stuff. I think it's a little low for you to think of that, because if a club is spending this much money and you're not getting the results, I don't think it should be acceptable from the fan base.
I disagree. You can spend all the money in the world, but if they don't click, it doesn't mean you're going to win the Champions League, does it? If you haven't got a system, if you haven't got something that's working, yes, Tuchel's come in and it is working at the moment, but it's still very early. I'm not going to sit here and start saying we can beat Bayern Munich and Man City when.
But the sheer amount of money being
European
spent on the players, like, I don't think a fan base should be accepting with the amount of money that the club is spending. It shouldn't be. I think as fans, you should be expecting more of your club. Because if you're willing to spend that much amount of money, if you're willing to back the manager as much, you can't come. I don't think it's right for you to say that we don't have a system, our players need to click. Like when every rival fan was saying that last year. I don't know about you, Jim. I'm not personally saying you, but all the Chelsea fans. The amount of times I've had Twitter debates, the amount of times I've heard from Chelsea fans, we're winning everything. So where's that energy now?
No, I've never said that number.
That's what I said. I'm not personally attacking you. I'm just letting you know the whole Chelsea fan base in general.
For me, last season, and Terry can back me because I said it here, I actually said a good season for Chelsea would to be to challenge, which we haven't done, which is a failure, but to get top four, we have to be in the top four. Anything less than that is a failure to me. You know, so I don't expect us to go and win titles in the first season, bro. You know,
I completely agree there. Yeah.
But Roman will. So next year, if these three signings come in, the expectation will be win Premier Leagues, get to the latter stage of the Champions League, domestic trophy success. But that's the poison chalice to a degree that comes with being the Chelsea manager. You get the spending, you get the players that you want, generally speaking. But the expectation is very, very high for you to go on and deliver. Listen, Ian, thank you very much for coming on and having your say, bro. Really, we've got another super chat here that says, Christopher, if Chelsea want a centre back and financial fair players relax, bring me the lit. I would pay 70 to 90 million pounds to bring in that player from a rubbish Juve and bring Donna on a free, and our back line will be insane. That's an interesting one. Viewers, let us know what you think. Donnarumma. How about a little bit of delete in there? Listen, if you really can break the bank, I don't know. Why don't you just go and buy one of the best centre backs in the Premier League in Harry Maguire? Get it done, Chelsea. Get it done now, bro. Next caller on the show is going to be Matty. Matty CFC. What you saying, mate?
Hey, Matty.
You all right, Terry? Jem, you all right? How you doing? Gal, every time I see you on a Chelsea stream, bro, there's a bit of salt. It's sprinkling on, bruv. You know, just because Arsenal are going into irrelevancy. You know, I mean, come on. You know, behave.
Nah, man, you're just triggered because I did not actually say anything that was salty. I just said the facts.
You just said Haaland wouldn't come to Chelsea, but we are challenging for the league. So I mean, you know, and we will be next season.
Let me ask you this. So, genuine question. If you're Haaland and you have the choice between Manchester City, right, and Chelsea, which one are you picking?
Chelsea. Because I'm going to get in that. I'm going to be up front. That's why you're going to have more frontline opportunities, and you've got a chance of winning trophies, and you're
Bro,
having
you're
also
delusional. You're delusional if you think
you
Haaland
are,
is
mate.
picking Chelsea over Man City.
Igal. There's a part of me that agrees with you in the sense of right now, I would still say City are a very attractive, maybe slightly more attractive offer, but you discount the fact that City may not be willing to spend the 100 million that's needed because they don't go up at that level. But when you sat on here 5, 6, 7 weeks ago and said that you think Jack Grealish would pick Arsenal over a Man United team, that again, your comment there about why would Haaland pick Chelsea over City is the same logic. You've done yourself again.
I know. But listen to this. When you said to me, which one do you think he's going to pick? I honestly said to you, he's going to pick Manchester United. But if things are in our favor, he'd pick us. He's not even saying that. He's just saying straight up, he's going to pick Chelsea over Man City. That's two different things.
Okay. That's a fair point. So Matt, so if Man City and Chelsea bid the same amount and offer the same contract, do you still think you'll pick Chelsea over City?
It'll be a 50-50, but it will be up to whoever, who he wants. But I have a sneaky suspicion he'll choose Chelsea because he's got more first-time team opportunities. You've got to remember, Gabriel Jesus is in that squad. You've also got Aguero that they'll try and offer a new contract to.
Okay,
so,
what about his father playing for Man City? What about the fact that he grew up in England?
That's irrelevant.
What about these things? They're irrelevant.
That's irrelevant.
Hey.
Frank Lampard's dad played for West Ham. He, as much as Frank Lampard went off and played for West Ham, admittedly, he went on to play for Chelsea.
Aguero's leaving, mate. Aguero's leaving. Forget about Jesus. Jesus has always been a backup. At the end of the day, if Haaland has a choice between Manchester City, a team that's won the league, 3 times in the last 4 years, 2 on the bounce, a quadruple, 100 points Man City team versus Chelsea team, who's just getting back to the top, who I'll give credit. You guys have a lot of good players and a good team. I would rather, if I was Haaland personally, I think he would rather go to Chelsea. He would rather go to Man City than Chelsea, based on what's in front of him, and also the chances that he would get given to him at Man City would be a lot more, and you'd be able to fight for Ballon d'Ors and those major trophies, individual personal honors and major trophies as a club, where Chelsea would not offer him that same amount of opportunities and same amount of chances created per game. That's just the facts around it. No salt.
I disagree.
Great there by Igal. Matty, great call. Thank you for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that. Chelsea fans, Igal has laid down the gauntlet. He thinks Haaland will pick City over you if you both go in for it. Come on and challenge Igal now. The link is in the Chelsea chat room on our Discord server. We'll share it again in the chat, or get your super chats in as well. Andre here says, Jem, don't look any further. We've got Mark. I don't know who that player is.
Mark Gay.
Okay, that is pronounced.
Yeah.
If he doesn't work out, then we'll sell him for 20 million. Loan Army pays for Haaland. The Loan Army
it's true.
Almost everything. Like financially, there is no issues for Chelsea, especially when it comes to financial fair play is being relaxed. And listen, guys, I'm always going to challenge people's points on here and people's logic from before. But Igal knows what he's doing. Igal had a bang-up point to come back with there. Chelsea fans, call in. Come and have your say. We want to know what you think about these 3 players you're linked with as well. In the next 24 hours, these stories are really... Just like when we came on here yesterday and told you Ollie's getting a new 3-year deal. No, he's not. Today, everywhere, ESPN, The Mirror, United Stand, all talking about 3-year deal coming. Same with this one. You're gonna see the news hype up massively in the next 24 to 48 hours. Next on the show, we're gonna get Sol. Sol's with us. What you saying, Sol?
The question with what Igal said about Haaland thing.
Can you talk a little bit louder?
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear him at all. Like, I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, we can hear him. It's just very quiet. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hello. Yep. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Speak up.
Yep. So the thing with Igal said about Haaland picking Man City over Chelsea, the fact is it has happened before. It has happened before with different players, but if you count like Jorginho, he was highly touted to go to Man City, but Chelsea just offered the same amount, but he chose Chelsea because he had more opportunities in Chelsea. I think the same thing will happen to Haaland as well.
You missed something though. You missed something. The Jorginho thing. You had his former manager in Sarri at Chelsea at the time. So it's kind of, do I go to Chelsea and play with a manager who I already know and how I can play under him and that he can get me the best out of me, or I can go to Man City where it's unknown. Of course, at that point you're gonna pick the manager, and there's two things going your way. It's the same money and you have a manager, so you do have an advantage. But this situation, Haaland, you don't have Haaland's former manager at your club. That's not what you have. You have the same situation as Man City. And if you look at the same situation, the same money is spent, you can't tell me an adequate reason why he would pick Chelsea over City. Let's be real.
Yeah, but thing is, we can entice him to London. London's a city that players would choose.
But he grew up in Leeds. He was born and raised in Leeds. He was born in the north. So at the end of the day, that point is invalid because he's already grew up in the north. He grew up in Man City. So his dad played there. So let's not talk about London when I can draw on the string of where he grew up. Which one's more important to him?
Listen, great call. Thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that. We had a super chat here, Gal. This is Igal. Guardiola does not play number 9s like Zlatan. Haaland is like him. Do you see that being an issue? I mean, that's a question.
I don't see that being an issue because what do we always talk about Haaland? His conversion rate and his touches that he's taken in order to get the goals. If you look at most touches in the box this season for Premier League teams, of course it's City, right? But by how many of those goals, those goals come from touches in the box, or how many of those goals come from just tap-ins? With a Haaland, they could revolutionize the way they play. Sometimes it's not about how they play now, it's how they can play when they have all the tools at hand. Right now they don't have the tools because Aguero has been injured and Jesus is not that type of player. So let's not compare.
Yeah, neither does Chelsea though. This is where I disagree with you, because the one thing that we're lacking is a clinical edge, a clinical finisher. It's very clear that we have a system. It's very clear we've got players that are comfortable playing in that systems. It's very clear that we're able to link up play and get the ball in the final third and create. The only thing we can't do at the moment is put the ball in the back of the net. And that involves someone like a Haaland coming in and doing that. And I'm not just talking about having 20 chances a game and converting. I'm talking about when we have games where we're like only creating 3 or 4 chances on target and one of them going. And it's because of Haaland. That's what we miss.
I hear that with both of you. We're going to go to some more callers now. A lot of the viewers, there's quite a few viewers saying a gal's winning this debate. There are a few Senegals being salty. Get the calls in, get your super chats in. Let us know what you think and feel. The most important thing to do is hit the like and share button. This is what we're here for. The only football channel on YouTube that gives you daily opportunities to phone in and have your say. You don't need big followers. You don't need to be a YouTuber. You don't need to be a celebrity or an ex-pro. You can be anybody phoning up, just regular fans like the rest of us. That's what we're here for. Next caller is going to be Man Like. TJ, we've got Slens to come up. We've got Winter Surfer to come up. Kid City on the way. Artem, loads of people coming. But next up is TJ. What are you saying, bro?
Guys, season.
Yeah, all good, mate. What do you want to say to us?
Well, first of all, I want to challenge Gal's point about Koundé. Koundé's height is no problem. I'm not sure if Gal's aware, but 2 of the better centre-backs of the last 30, 40 years are Cannavaro and Baresi. Both were under 6 foot. So I don't really see where Gal's point with that is. Also, Haaland would go to Chelsea, let's be honest. Chelsea and Man City, I feel like, to be honest, I'm not saying he would pick Chelsea over City. He could go to both. I think City need a striker, probably more than Chelsea do, because they've just got Aguero, who's kind of, these days, is a bit ineffective. And then they've got Jesus, who, if I'm being honest...
Are you in a pet shop?
No, it's just... No.
It sounds like it. He's got parrots and everything.
No, it's my dog. It's my dog and my parrot. They're actually gone mental, aren't they?
He's a parrot.
My dog and my parrot. I love it. Yeah, sorry, mate.
Yo, TJ, let me say something to you, TJ. Just mute your mic for a second because it's kind of annoying a little bit. My bad. Now, first things first, when it comes to the height, yes, the height is something that I draw it upon. But of course, that's also going back to his pricing. For a 75 to 60 million pounds center back, you want somebody who's going to come in and change your team immediately. And I feel like with the player coming from where he's coming from in La Liga, coming from Sevilla, he's going to struggle. I'm thinking he might struggle. Yes, that is a maybe. There's a little bit of doubt in my mind, but that's my personal opinion and why I think that spending that type of money on him would be nonsensical with Chelsea's current situation with their center back. They're better off to go and get what do you call it, Alaba from Bayern on a free transfer, and that could be a short-term solution like they did with Thiago. And they already have Miguel Sarr, who they brought in last year, so they have a lot of center back options. I don't think that's their number one priority. Right now, moving on to what you said about Haaland going to Chelsea. Chelsea, they do need a striker. They do need a striker that finishes chances. But just because you need a striker that finishes chances, just because he's the perfect striker for you, doesn't mean he's going to pick you because you can see that where it fits. That's not why he's going to choose Chelsea. He's going to pick Chelsea based on the amount of chance he's going to get, based on the analytics that him and his father and his team are going to look at the team and their playing style if it suits him as a striker. And you know what? He's also going to go to the best place that gives him the best platform to develop his career and also move forward. Chelsea right now, they're a team that don't usually give faith to people. And if they buy Haaland, they're going to give faith to him. But Man City are a team that's shown that they are willing to do that with guys like Jesus, unlike Chelsea, where they've been quick to get rid of players.
And where he wants to live as well, yeah? Remember that, because that's very important as well. It's where they want to actually live.
Where they want to live makes sense. TJ, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say, mate. Thank you very much indeed. We really appreciate it.
Can I just say two things quickly?
Yeah, very, very quick, mate.
Well, can I just say something quickly? I just wanted to say, Mikel Arteta out for as far as I can see. Also, hopefully Scotland beat Austria.
There we go. Big up yourself, bro. Take care, mate. All the best, TJ. Next on the show, we're going to Slens Talk. Slens, you're back with us. What do you want to say, bro?
Yes, bro. I'm just here to challenge your girl about the Haaland point, man. Your my guy, but I got to call you out here, my friend. Listen, what I'll say is, bro, when it comes to like emotions, you're talking about childhood club, yeah. I can give you a lot of examples. Lukaku, yeah. He says, I'd love to be the new Drogba, right? He used to play at Chelsea, lovely emotions, but at the end of the day, he chose United over Chelsea, bro. Do you know why? Because he had an agent called Mino Raiola. Guess who else is the agent of? Erling Haaland. When it comes to Erling Haaland, bro, the way I see his agent will go out and look for the best wages. City have a very a rigorous kind of wage structure compared to Chelsea, who we offer big wages to players. And the reason I know that Raiola is his agent, I know he's going to go out and look for the best deal money-wise. What I'll say is as well, when I go back to the emotions, Jadon Sancho came out and said, listen, I am a childhood Chelsea fan, right? But I still think you choose United over Chelsea. I don't buy into this whole emotions thing, man. I think it's about, listen, I'm going to get the best deal here money-wise. I understand you're also talking about, before I don't know you want to go, but you also want to talk about the structure of it, the footballing wise. I'm not going to lie to you. If you look at Haaland, right, we're crying out for someone like Haaland and Roman. When Roman wants someone, right, I've always known when Roman actually wants something, he goes into it and gets it. I haven't seen the same City shouts from them. I haven't seen the owner speak about. I haven't even seen Pep be a big admirer of Haaland.
Slens, let me ask you a genuine question. Are you saying if things are? I'm asking you if things are all equal, because what you're saying is if this is in Chelsea's favor, and if Roman wants this, and if the player sees Chelsea's thing, and if this and that, there's a lot of ifs. But I'm asking you straight up right now, between Man City and Chelsea, everything is the exact same financial structure. Chelsea's not putting any extra money on.
Wait,
as you were saying.
Wise as well. Wait, hold on. Are you saying footballing wise, everything is equal?
As an outsider looking in, and not a Chelsea fan, take your Chelsea hat off for a second. Can you genuinely say to me that he is going to pick Manchester City, or he's not going to pick Manchester City over Chelsea?
Here's what I'll say. I'll tell you this, yeah. Listen, when it comes to footballing reasons, right now City are ahead of us in development. So obviously, if you're talking about footballing reasons purely, he goes City. But I'm not talking about footballing reasons because that's not how transfers work.
Okay, so then it's a different conversation then. We're not talking about the same conversation.
But you can't just simplify it.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Everyone laughed at me saying, "Why would Grealish come?" I said, "You know what? I had to concede."
Sorry, guys. Let me interject. I think Gal's right. I want people to answer that question honestly. If City and Chelsea offer the same money, same package, same shirt number, etc., who do you think Slens Haaland will pick?
No, he's going City, bro. I have to admit, because City are ahead of us in development. That's facts.
But then the question comes down to, will City or will Chelsea smash City out the water in terms of will Chelsea turn around and go, do you know, okay, we'll offer an extra 50 grand a week and an extra £3 million if you hit 30 goals a season, and we'll offer you an extra £5 million bonus if we win the Premier League. If there's no financial fair play, that's where I see Roman. Roman will give him his yacht. Say, brother, you can use
one more thing, we had an example of a player, yeah, who wanted to go to who had the choice between City and Chelsea. I know he's not the greatest player, but Jorginho chose Chelsea over City. I can't forget that because the prices were the same. For me, like it was around 50 million, right? City were offering something a little bit lower than that, or I believe the same price, but he chose Chelsea. So I'm telling you, it's not. If you're talking about footballing reasons, of course, I can't win this.
I do get you on that. Slens, bro. Great call. Yes, I appreciate you coming on, my man. Thank you very much indeed. We've got some super chats here. The first one from Ash says, great show, Terry. Could you wish my girlfriend a happy birthday, please? Her name is No. I'm not going to fall for that. You're going to get me on that. Remember, I have to read everything so carefully because of my dyslexic brain. I can't be caught out. But thank you for the super chat. Nice try. Man, like Don Robbie gets caught on that all the time. And Don Robbie just says it and then don't get it afterwards. It's great. Another super chat here from Ganga, who says, if all things are equal, Haaland would pick City over Chelsea based on success, trophies, style of play, and chances created. But City may not pay the transfer fee and wages, meaning advantage Chelsea. And I think that's a fair point to be made there. We're going to go back to these calls in a minute. There are other subjects that are circulating today as well. Another big rumor, another big rumor in papers again of Jack Grealish, Arsenal. I keep seeing this. I keep seeing pros talk about Grealish should go to Arsenal. Arsenal should go all out for him. Are you getting a little bit excited that this could potentially be one of the biggest transfer coups of the summer?
Listen, I'm going to relax myself because I've seen the link, and the link was actually from Nigel Winterburn. He basically was asked, who should Arsenal go and sign this summer? And he said, you know what? If Arsenal are serious, the number one player they should go and sign is Jack Grealish, because he sees Jack Grealish slotting in very well in that left forward role or in that number 10 role. And I could see it, but honestly, if they finish above us in the league and they get European football and somebody else like Manchester United or Man City or Chelsea or anybody else comes in for him, obviously he's going to go there over Arsenal. The only way it happens is if no one else comes in for him and we finish above Aston Villa and Aston Villa don't have European football.
I hear what, do you know what I find interesting about it is this. I agree with everything you've said. A lot of Arsenal alumni, a lot of people associated to the club keep saying, go all out for him, like they know something we don't.
Do you know why?
Or maybe it's that element of Arsenal just need. What I would love to see Arsenal do is for you just to behave like a big club and just say, do you know what? There's 80 mil, there's 300 grand a week, Jack. We want to get back to the.
They're going to do that.
Terry, let me ask you a question. I looked at the Arsenal team and I rebuilt the whole team on the other day just for fun, right? And I looked. We have a gaping hole on the left hand side of our front three. We have a gaping hole on the left-hand side of the front three. Saka and Pepe can rotate on the right. We have a lot of people who can play a striker, but the only person who out and out gets that that left-hand spot role right now is Smith Rowe or Willian. And if we get a Jack Grealish, it's an automatic improvement from Smith Rowe or Willian. And you know what? That allows Smith Rowe or whoever else we buy to play the 10. So now we bought one player that can solve two problems for us: the 10 role and that left-hand side of a front three, which Jack Grealish plays a lot at Aston Villa. In addition to the leadership situation, we'd bring an immediate leader into the team. And you know what? If we had a Jack Grealish, as you said the other day, Terry, someone like Jack Grealish, even though I said his season was slightly overrated, as an individual player, you cannot take away what he's done. He is one of those guys who will take a team by himself.
If you think Odegaard's elevate on a route, whether you get him or not is another debate. Jack Grealish would take Arsenal to that next level. He's that good. Baz here says, question is, if Villa can start spending more, will they get Grealish to stay? Well, that's also the interesting part with this financial fair play, because Villa have money, Leicester have money, Wolves have money. Those three clubs have got very wealthy owners who I believe are prepared to spend big money. The only reason they don't spend more than they have done is because of financial fair play. If those owners say, do you know what, we're going to pump 300 million cash into this squad ourselves each, those players like Jackie Grealish might stay there. There's no doubt about that. We have another.
Stop saying we're 10th. We're 9th, by the way, just so people know.
Oh, wow. Well done.
I love it, Gal. Seeing Timo and Havertz, Haaland wouldn't feel secure at Chelsea. With City, Haaland is guaranteed with titles and the overall squad they already have. That's a great point being made there. Get your super chats in, get your calls in. Next on the show, we're going to get a City fan on. Kid City's here. What you saying, bro?
You know, I find it hard to agree with the guy like 90% of the time, but this time I can't disagree with him at all. You know, but the only thing about Haaland is, for me, Chelsea already have like 3 strikers, right? In my opinion, like I don't like, you know, look at Chelsea a lot, but I think one of their strikers has to leave for Haaland to come in my opinion. Yeah. So I was really thinking, like, you know, who would leave? For me, it would probably maybe Giroud, because I think Abraham would be okay staying on the bench. But I think Giroud, as it is, Giroud doesn't even get enough playing time, in my opinion, for what he does. So I wanted to ask the Chelsea fans what they think of that.
Yeah, who do you think, Jem? Who do you think would leave if Haaland came in, or any other top-level striker? Who goes?
I think Giroud's going to go. I think if we can get rid of Tammy, then fine. If not, if he turns around and says, you know what, I'm happy to just sit on the bench and be the third striker, cool, keep him, because at the end of the day, he's not a bad player to come off the bench. But yeah, I would say Giroud and Tammy to go. We've got Timo Werner anyway as well. So Timo Werner and then one other main striker for me, with a backing of Tammy Abraham, 100%.
I want to ask Kid City a question. People keep saying you guys can't afford Haaland because you guys have a wage structure that didn't allow you to buy Harry Maguire and Virgil van Dijk and Koulibaly. What do you say to people that say you guys can't afford a player because of your wage structure?
You can't afford him. It's they tend not to go above around 60, 70 million fees. So it's whether or not you think City, do you think Kid City, do you think Man City would break that transfer rule they have?
I don't think they will. I think they have to. I think they have to. We need a striker. Like, from what I've been reading about Aguero, you know, how he's talking, how I'm seeing in the news, he's gone, 100% gone. If we get Danny Ings, we're finishing 4th. That's what I told everyone.
Wow.
Man, Danny Ings is a good player, man.
He's injury prone.
Winning a league without a recognised striker, all Haaland's going to do, like I've said though, if Haaland joins City or Chelsea next season, he is breaking the total goal scored in a single Premier League.
No, I wouldn't say that.
He will. He is. I'm telling you now. So I'll get an echo from someone there. I'm telling you this now about Haaland, and I mean this. He has already set the foundation. If he continues to progress and he doesn't have a major injury stop him, he will become the greatest striker in the last 50 years to play football in Europe. Striker, not like inside forward thing like a Ronaldo or Messi. I'm talking striker. The foundation he has built already is mad. 30 games, he breaks a single goal scoring record in the Premier League. That's my opinion. Kid City, top man. Thanks for coming on the show and having your say. Next up, we're going to go to Winter Surfer. What you saying, mate?
All right, guys. How you doing?
Not bad.
I just want to obviously we were told last year that we weren't going to get Havertz. You know, it's going to Real Madrid or going to Bayern Munich, or you're staying another year at Leverkusen. So the only way I believe when we signed a player is when I see a picture of them with Marina signing a contract on a website. That's the only way I ever believe Chelsea signed someone. But Haaland's going to go wherever he wants to go. Koundé, I'm not too sure about Koundé. I've seen him, I've only seen him in the Champions League, Terry. I don't watch Spanish football, so he's not left a good impression on me. The one that really is out of left field is Coutinho, because I feel we already have a player sort of like him in Ziyech. So Coutinho is the one that I go raise my eyebrows about. But what I will say to Chelsea fans, if Thomas Tuchel wants these players, you're going to have to back him. You can't complain. If Thomas Tuchel wants them, you've got to back him.
I just don't think Coutinho is the type of profile player we need at the club. I think we need a winger. You know, we've had discussions this a number of times. We need a winger. We need a Neto. We need someone that's going to do what Pulisic does for us, which is pick the ball up and drive at players. We've got a Ziyech. You're correct. I think Ziyech and Coutinho are very alike. I also think Coutinho's maybe a little bit alike Mason Mount, not on the work ethic side, but in terms of with the ball at his feet, look up, you know, try and find that pass or whatever. So I don't think Coutinho is the profile player we should be going for. Of course, I'd back Tuchel. Everything he's done up to now, we have no reason not to. But I just feel like we could potentially strengthen in better areas than.
Yeah, we need another. We need a dominant centre back. And for me, I'm not looking at a name on the back. my
Massively.
attribute for a dominant centre back is leadership and someone who can replace Silva, because we don't have to play him a lot next season.
I think your point, Winter Surfer, about backing the manager choice is going to be really, really important here. No doubt. Listen, bro, appreciate you coming on the show and having your say. Top man, speak to you again soon. Next up, we've got loads of people still backstage waiting to come in. Prime's going to be on very soon. We're going to Neil next. Neil's definitely a Chelsea fan, unless he's got all these flags up in his room for no reason. Neil's with us. What you saying, mate?
Hey, guys. Good to be on. Yeah, definitely a Chelsea fan. And yeah, I just wanted to carry on with what Jim was saying earlier about the centre back. And I actually believe that it's not that much about protecting the centre backs that we're going in with the three. If you actually see the profile of our squad, the real player that we are lacking is that holding defensive midfielder. I mean, we have Kante, but as we know, Kante plays best when he goes more box to box. He's still a defensive midfielder, but he's not a holding one. He's more of a shuttling DM. So I feel that's the reason why we've made this move to 3 under Tuchel. And even under Lampard, people like to think we've had a very bad defensive record. Yes, we did. But ever since Mendy came in, that's still 16 goals conceded in 21 games. I don't really see how that's so. I mean, things fell away in the last 4 games against Arsenal, Leicester, and City. But for the majority, we had a great run where, when Mendy came in, 11 games, 12 games, so many clean sheets. So it can work in a 4-2. And really, like the levels that Silva obviously was expected, but, Kurt Zuma, Christensen, Rudiger, the levels these guys have been showing this season, I mean, in a back 4-2.
I think just quickly, Terry, I think the biggest thing for me, we know they're talented players. The question is for me, are they system players? Do they only adapt to certain systems? I worry that with Christensen and Rudiger, that they may lack consistency in their performances. Yes, they've played very well up to now, and long may that continue. But are they the answer in the long run for us? That's the thing for me. I just worry that they have that one bad error and they slip back into that bad way again. Yeah, and then we start, conceding goals here and there, and the performances are not at the same level
Can I say
again.
one thing
That's
about
what worries
Koundé?
me with them
Terry,
type of
before you
players.
go, I just read a quick report on Koundé. I'm not too familiar in the player. I've spoken to some people about him, but last time I checked, his strengths are his ability on the ball, his passing ability, and everything else. His actual weaknesses are not specifically just aerial duels, but actual low crosses and dealing with crosses into the box. And in the Premier League, let's be real, a lot of the situations that Kepa had problems with was dealing with crosses into the box. If you have a center back now who has the same difficulties dealing with crosses in the box, you're gonna have a trouble adjusting to Premier League. And do you want another center back who's gonna struggle with dealing with crosses in the box? I don't think Chelsea does.
Yeah, I mean, this season, if you look
Chelsea
at... Sorry,
was a Conde. Do you want him? Philip Coutinho, is it the right move? Neil, thank you for calling into the show, mate. Really appreciate it. We're going to have Andre on next. Then Prime's going to be with us. We've got Josh backstage as well. Artem, so many calls to get through here. We're going to try and go through them. Andre, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to say we're discussing about different types of strikers, different types of defenders, different profiles of defenders. We really don't know what Tuchel really wants to do. He says all the time that, I want to play it with 4 at the back, not 3. And that's why I'm like, I don't know who I want as a defender. I'd rather, like I said in my super chat, I'd rather have Mark Way to come up and then play and see what he does for a year, because he's like literally the defender of the year in the championship. So and then for Haaland, he's like Zlatan. He's like a Drogba type of player. Last time I checked, Guardiola couldn't handle Zlatan. And Haaland reminds me of that because he's got attitude. And people say, oh, yeah, but he's number 9. Luis Suarez played like a number 9. David, what's his name? David
Villa.
David Villa, exactly. He was a number 9. And this is where there is a differentiation between strikers. Haaland, Zlatan, Drogba, they all can head the ball. They can all shoot the ball. And they're the hold-up play. That's their strength. David Villa is more like a worm. He plays around players. He goes at players. It's like a winger, but he's a number 9. Aguero is the same type of player. And that's why I say,
Yeah,
and that's
sorry.
why, sorry, Terry. That's why I say, I think Haaland would fit better to Chelsea because we need that striker like Giroud. Giroud is gonna leave in the summer. Tammy Abraham is not gonna extend his contract. So if I was Chelsea, I would go balls to the walls for Haaland.
Yeah.
No, I hear you on
And
really good points made there. My
wait.
friend.
One more
Yeah,
thing to Igal.
go on.
Igal, you said
Yeah.
when everything is equal, who would you choose? City or Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking my Chelsea hat off, but I will still choose Chelsea. Do you know why?
Why?
Because our average squad age is 25. Man City is like 30. I would
That's not
grow up
actually
with us.
factually correct.
We have younger players in our squad, and those older players are leaving. If you know what I mean. Our squad
I
is
get what you're
younger
saying.
on
Yeah.
average.
So I hear what you're saying there. Listen, bro, great call. Thanks for coming on and all your support for the terrace, mate. It means a great deal to us. It really, really does. Thank you. Prime is with us now. What you saying, Prime?
Hi. Koundé, he's good, but do I preferably want him? No. Do I want Coutinho? No. And people know my preference on Kane over Haaland. However, if this is who Tuchel wants in order to build us going forward, then I'm with it 100%. I don't want and this is why the Haaland links I'm skeptical on, because I don't know if this is just what the club want in terms of Roman, or this is who Tuchel actually wants as his striker going forward. I don't want the board to mess us up and just go for these flashy signings as Haaland's the generational talent, and just go for the name instead of what actually works for us going forward. Like Coutinho's would be a cheaper option, and I don't really rate him. But if Tuchel wants that and that's going to work, then I'm with it 100%. Koundé, I watch him a bit. He is good. Yes, he's a bit short, but it's not necessarily a problem at Sevilla because it's in Spain. In the Premier League, would it be a problem? Maybe. But if we're playing this back three, Aspie plays on the right of the three, and he doesn't have any problems in the air. Not much problem in the air. So I think it'd be okay.
Terry, could I just say one thing on this? Gentleman said Chelsea's average age. This is Chelsea and Man City's average age for this season. If you can't see it, it says 26.2 for both teams. So it's the exact same. So using that as an excuse is not actually an answer, because yes, Man City's first 11 might actually be older than the other team, but you know what? A lot of the players that they have on their bench are a lot younger. So the overall age of the actual squad is a lot younger than you guys think it is.
I hear you on that, but I think what's important to look at with those stats, and this isn't saying you're wrong, this is just something to be mindful of. You have to look at the players that are actually being used, so it can be manipulated. If you have two or three kids involved that are officially in your 23 squad, who are like 18 but they don't play, they'll bring your numbers down. I would look at the main 13, 14 players used and look at their average age, and just I don't know whether I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, no, I agree with what Terry said.
It'd be interesting to see in relation to that, because that's where a statistic can be misleading. I would look at the 13, 14 players used into top minutes and then just work out their average age, and that gives you a much better view. Maybe that's what Andre did. I don't know.
How about this? How about this statistic? You're a striker. You want goals, right? Chelsea currently have 44 goals. Man City have 64 goals. If you go into a team that generally creates more chances, get more goal scoring opportunities, more touches in the box, more shots in the box, more shots in general, as a striker, you'd rather pick that team than the team that has less in every single statistical category.
Yes, but again, what you've got to do to make that stat fair is look at it post Tuchel's appointment. Post Tuchel's appointment, Chelsea City are only averaging around one and a half chances more per game than City. So you can't look at Lampard's time there, because that now becomes null and void, because Haaland won't be playing Lampard's team and system. So it's a great point, but you need to look at, I would do the comparison of Pep's team versus Tuchel's Chelsea. It can't be Tuchel and Lampard's Chelsea.
My point, Terry, was if you're going to bring one statistic, you have to look at all of them, as you're saying.
No.
I mean, like, if you're gonna bring average age of the squad as a statistic, why Haaland would pick either or team.
You're right on that, and we can throw in all different types of reasons. That's Andre's reason. He thinks Haaland is going to pick a team that's about to come into its best. Maybe he feels that City are at their best. I don't listen. I think he's going to pick the team that pays him the most money.
Yeah.
All that aside,
but the thing is,
all that being equal, if City go, there's 200 grand, and Chelsea go, look, there's 300 grand. He's picking Chelsea.
Of course he is.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, even if he does go to City, Chelsea are going to fight tooth and nail to the final.
Yeah, they will
to the final line. We're not going to be like Arsenal that's saying that because we can't get him. We're just not going to try at all. We're going to.
No. You guys put up the money.
Very good negotiators.
You guys put up the money, you get him. And you guys put up the money, you get him. That's pretty much what it is.
We've got Artem on the show next. Artem, what are you saying?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, so I think Chelsea got to go all out for Haaland this coming up season because if you look at the rest of the strikers in the world, there's really not much. It's him and Kane. And let's be honest, Chelsea will never get Kane because we don't do deals with Spurs. As for who he pick, Man City or Chelsea, if, like Igal said, mine is the same, he'll pick Man City. But I think Abramovich will outbid Man City.
Yeah, a lot of people think that that's what he's going to do. That the reports are that, and this isn't the official word, but it's my interpretation. Roman has a hard on for him, and when Roman really wants someone, he does what he has to do. Artem, thank you very much for calling in, bro. We'll do some quick fire calls here. Next up, Josh is with us. Josh, what you saying, bro?
Yeah, hi. I feel like Chelsea's transfer business is like really dependent on what happens with our midfield. So obviously, I've got a Jorginho agenda. I want him out, And let's say like we get a more physical DM, then we do need like a centre back because then we're probably going to play a 4-3-3. And I think with Haaland, regardless, I think Haaland is a board target. So I think regardless of manager and whatever happens, I think we're going to go all out for Haaland. But maybe with the centre backs, I think it depends on what formation we're trying to play and like the type of midfielders we'd want in that formation.
Yeah, it's really, I've seen lots of different polls running on socials around, will Chelsea go to a flat back four, stick with the three? What I've found with three at the back in the Premier League is that at some point, every manager that's used it and had success
gets found out.
Gets found out, yeah.
That's how I gets found out.
Suddenly can't stay out. It just feels like that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just like availability bias because I've read that about two managers and I haven't done the cross-referencing, but it just feels a little like that. So maybe he will step away from it at some point. Really good point there, Josh. Thank you very much. Next caller we're getting on is going to be Itest's actual son, who's a gooner. What are you saying, mate?
Listen, first of all, can we stop the Arsenal slander? Yeah, this is a Chelsea stream, stop the Arsenal slander. Yeah, second of all, we're all debating about Haaland, but will Haaland actually succeed in the Prem? That's my real question, He's doing phenomenal in the Bundesliga. We know. We've seen many strikers that have come to the Prem. Shevchenko has came, Barkau has came. Can Haaland do the same? That's my question.
Well, I'll throw it back to you.
Unpopular opinion.
Do you think he'll do it? Do you think he'll do it?
God knows, innit?
Sorry?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, what? God knows. Well, I know. He might flop. Who knows?
Yeah, but it's like anyone, though, bro.
Exactly.
So it doesn't make any sense, does it? You have to take risks.
For me, it's about risk. It's about risk assessment. So he was born here. He grew up starting playing football in this country. So from a weather point of view, acclimatization, no real issues. Secondly, speed of the league, physicality of the league. The geezer's quick. He's built like a brick shithouse. He's strong. He's quick. Yes, he's done it in the Bundesliga. I think the Premier League's harder, but he's killing it in the Champions League as well. He's doing it. He's doing very well on an international level. So pretty much the only box he hasn't got ticked, he hasn't played professional football in England yet. Everything else that I would tick down as being less of a risk. So done it in multiple leagues, done it in the Champions League, doing it internationally. He was born and brought up through our systems here before moving elsewhere. That would make me, as a Chelsea or City fan, highly confident he could make it. But he can still flop. And that's just the risk that Chelsea or City are going to have to take. But I don't think he will. I think he'll smash it.
Yeah. But can I ask Jim a question? What formation do you think Tuchel will play next season?
It's hard with Tuchel because he's shown that he can switch it around massively. So I agree with Terry. I think that the three at the back is I think it's probably temporary. Like, because I do think with a three at the back you can get found out in a three at the back. Under Conte, we got found out in his second season straight away, and it didn't work. So I think you need to have options in terms of formations. What do I think he'll do next season? I think evidently at the end of it you'll see a 4-2-3-1. That's what I think is the aim for Chelsea moving forward. We'll see.
I think this thing of being found out in the Prem, like with Conte, that happened due to the fact that he wasn't backed in his second season going forward. If, like with Pep, people could have said the same thing, that they were found out next season. But what did City do? They gave him more money and they rebuilt. If we stop backing Tuchel and building for him, then we will be found out.
I don't think Kante was found out as being a bad manager. His system wasn't working. It stopped, got countered, and then they didn't give him the money to better check. That whole second season under Kante, he weren't even trying. It was like he didn't care. Like that, every manager's system has to evolve over a 18-month, 2-year period. Different players, slightly different shape. Different approach to game, because otherwise tacticians...
He wasn't back, yes, but he wasn't back in that summer going forward.
I know, Prime. I'm sorry, that isn't what we're talking about. What the question was, that you're going on a completely different tangent. We know Conte wasn't backed, but I'm not saying he fouled because he was backed and he still fouled. We're saying that his system started to be found out, like every manager's is, and rather than the club giving him the money and giving him the players to adapt and do something different, he fell out with them and they didn't. That's not what the 4-3-3.
No, I know, but the thing is, I agree. Tuchel's a tactician, so he will adapt and move going forward. But my whole point is, we still need to back him. Continue to back it. That's my point.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't have the players to play with 4 at the back, then Tuchel's going to be in trouble because he's going to be found out.
That's my overarching point of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry, I misunderstood. I apologize. Listen, ITS, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Comment from someone here. I can't find it now. Says, Terry, how do you think? It's from Twisted. How do you think Maguire will handle Haaland? Badly. It would be my aunt. Badly is how he would answer him. Listen, everyone who's tuned in this evening, thank you very, very much indeed. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace. I know there's still people backstage. I can't get anybody else on here. I've got things I've got to do. But make sure you're hitting the like button. You're hitting the share button. You're subscribing and turning on the bell notifications for the Football Terrace as well. Do me a favor and sign up to the Discord server as well. Manscaped still 20% off of all their male grooming products. The 21st of June is fast approaching. You need that dolphin's beak in good working order. Listen, until next time, people, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless.